Thank you. I was looking at all of us, and I could still see that there are some who are still grateful that we still have the masks when it comes to certain parts of the anthem. And I would like us to get to the second item of the program. As registration continues quietly at the back, I would like people to take seats, those that are done with the registrations. I would like to say today we are gathered here because in 2020, His Excellency the President of South Africa expressed his vision of a new post-apartheid city or cities that would address the special injustices of the past. Subsequently, in 2021, in his State of the Province address, the Premier of the Eastern Cape also followed suit when he spoke about the bulk infrastructure projects that we would be delivering in the Eastern Cape. He indicated that those projects will contribute to the reimagining of the Wild Coast development. And at the time, in 2020 and 2021, those sounded like dreams. But today we are starting to see those dreams unfolding to becoming a reality. This is an Imbizo that is meant to provide information targeting particularly our designated groups. And I would like to indicate that I would say it is also a watershed event because it is one of those few programs whereby our designated groups who have suffered in the past are prioritized to be the first to get into a program, to be the first to know about a program. Therefore, why don't you clap your hands just for this watershed event so that we can also test if your hands can still move. Okay then, without me making further comments because our time is limited, I would like to acknowledge that in our midst we've got a number of guests that are coming from all three spheres of government, and I would like to acknowledge, I'm not going to ask the honorable guests to stand up, but I would just like to acknowledge them. They may raise hands wherever they are seated, and I'm going to do this in two sessions. I'm going to acknowledge those guests now, and then I'll take a break. I'll come back again and acknowledge a second group of guests. I'm taking it in sections. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge in our midst the Honorable Minister in the Presidency, responsible for women, youth and persons with disabilities, Honorable Minister Maite Nkwana Mashabane, who is in our midst. I would like to acknowledge the Premier of the province, Honorable Premier Mabuyane. We're going to see these two as they're going to take the podium. Also in our midst, we've got a number of members of the Executive Council, one responsible for transport, safety and liaison, Honorable MEC Tikana Klotiwe, Honorable MEC Ngata. We are also expecting MEC responsible for health, MEC Meth. We have mayors from various local municipalities. We also have district municipalities represented, both Alfred Nzo and OR Tambo, represented by deputy executive mayors. We've got a number of leadership from all from both municipalities. Even the mayor of Mhlonhlo, which is where we are hosted in a way, is also in our midst. I would like to acknowledge the senior government officials led by various HODs. In our midst, we've got the Director General responsible for women, youth, and persons with disabilities, plus other get to that space now. Then lastly, we've got various leaders coming from the various business sectors. They are all in our midst. I will pause there at this point in time and finish by indicating that the South African Council of Churches is in our midst. The youth leadership structures are in our midst. Then I will pause there, then I'll come back again. At this point in time, I would like us to, if you come from OR Tambo, I would like you to clap your hands to welcome those that are coming from outside OR Tambo. Okay. If you come from outside OR Tambo, would you clap your hands and appreciate OR Tambo for hosting us? Okay, I can see some come both from OR Tambo and from outside OR Tambo. I've noted that. Then without further ado, in order for us to sit comfortably where we are seated, I'm going to call upon the Honorable Premier of the Eastern Cape to make us feel even more welcome. I would like us to humbly call upon you, Honorable Premier, to come forward and take the podium and welcome us. He likes to be warmed up as he comes up. Okay.
Judges. Judges. Ufuna ndo. Hello. Hello. Okay. I thought that I'm not really audible. So, Judges, ufuna ndo na? Ulandela amna. Good morning to Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs in absentia, uGqirha umama uNkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Also, special greetings goes to the Minister in the Presidency, umama Umaite Nkwana Mashabane. To all MECs present here, I've seen MEC Ngata, responsible for Kokta in our province, and MEC Tikana Klotiwe, responsible for roads and transport and community safety. All mayors of OR Tambo and Alfred Nzo, as led by their executive mayors, though both they have sent deputy executive mayors to represent them. DGs present and all government officials, including our entities, MISA in this case, as our host, so to speak. Social partners in the form of traditional leadership, business and religious community, critical stakeholders, molweni nonke ngalentsasa yentlekele ye disaster esiyibonayo. Program Director, the background context of the coastal smart city in the Eastern Cape's perspective is greatly interwoven with the historical underdevelopment and geopolitical economy of the Eastern Cape, of the eastern part of our province. It has also been seeded in the democratic orders discussions, plans for the development of what became known to be the Wild Coast Corridor, starting from the Amatole OR Tambo district up to Alfred Nzo district. The essence of the Wild Coast Corridor development plans remains being the realization of socio-economic development and unlocking the potential of the Wild Coast Corridor through appreciation and beneficiation of its natural endowments. The ideas of the Wild Coast Spatial Development Initiative, conceptualized in the 1990s, are now getting traction in the 6th term of our administration through the development or district development model and the coastal city concept. The coastal city or the coastal smart cities, enhancing and giving meaning to urbanization process that could continue without plans and guidance as people proceed on their own to occupy land parcels in the coastal areas, which all believe to have great potential. All investment in the 21st century must appreciate our newer vulnerabilities of climate change. You see the climate change as we are seated here, the environmental sustainability, and especially digital transformation, as it will be the catalyst for the development. This 6th term of the provincial government has taken a stance to enhance its implementation capacity by firstly ensuring that all its strategic projects across the province are properly packaged, and are also shovel-ready. In this regard, the province utilizes its local capacity in the Kucha Development Corporation and has entered into a partnership with Infrastructure South Africa in the President's to ensure projects received indeed require funding support. Kukho abantu abathethayo, I'm not sure whether ndithule bagqibe uthetha so that ndizothetha kakuhle bethule. The Eastern Cape Seaboard Development or African Smart City Development is the first of its kind in our country, and to some it may seem impossible to achieve. A great legend of our province, our country, Africa, and the world, Utata Nelson Mandela, once said, and I quote, "It always seems impossible until it's done." The draft concept for the Eastern Cape Seaboard or Eastern Seaboard Development launches itself from a number of the provincial development documents. In our case, the Eastern Cape Provincial Development Plan, the Eastern Cape Provincial Infrastructure Plan, that is the priority of our strategic projects, the Eastern Cape Spatial Development Framework. The Eastern Cape Provincial Infrastructure Plan of 2017 contains provincial strategic projects that are linked to the National Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Commissions. Worth noting is that the provincial strategic projects, which are part of those in the targeted stretch, have a direct relationship with projects that are in other areas outside the Eastern Seaboard. And as such, they are articulated in our Eastern Cape Economic Development Strategy as spoke and hub linkages. This coastal smart city development will require our collective support and need for us to prioritize projects, identify and protect fund against the fiscal volatilities. In this regard, National Treasury must be brought into this coastal city project teams. I've seen the HOD of our provincial treasury here, Mr. Majeke. There's also a need for collaborative funding syndication between spheres and between provinces in accordance with project phases and jointly agreed priorities. As the Eastern Cape, we believe that the relationship established with ESA will certainly go a long way to harness all streams of funding. The land ownership minister, Ausmaite, the land ownership issues have acted as a constraint on private sector investment in our province, particularly in the Wild Coast region, and special attention must be given to land acquisition and the redistribution of that land to ensure the success of the Coastal Smart City project. Unlike the other new cities in South Africa, the Wild Coast region is not empty greenfield land. There are many existing human settlements along the coast. I know we've got a Transkei decree that we are currently repealing that can also act as an impediment on this if it is not repealed, that says that we cannot develop within 1 kilometer from the coastal zone. This must include strong social facilitation and consultation with traditional leaders to avert the risk of further coastal land evasion. I was worried, Mr. Vimba, when I learned that traditional leaders might not be in this meeting. We definitely need traditional leaders to walk with us step by step if we want to make sure that this is realized. So they are very, very much important. They are a very critical stakeholder there. As we speak, land parcels are being sold, are being given out to people. We might not get this piece of land that we need at a very crucial moment. The final concept document must include recommendation on land acquisition to enable private sector investment in the new city. As a province program director, we welcome and embrace the Eastern Cape Seaboard Development or African Coastal Smart City Development. The province commits to work together with various stakeholders towards the realization of Eastern Seaboard Development as we strive to improve the lives of our people in our province as well as the country at large. The province participates in inter-provincial structure, national work streams, and technical task teams. Collaboration amongst government and non-government sectors is critical for achieving the development imperatives of our country. Together, we can surely do more. We have received a request from Alfred Nzo that a similar program of this nature must also be extended there by end of this month, and we have all concurred, as led by the minister, that by end of this month, April, will be in Alfred Nzo, where we will be able to make a direct contact with close proximity with stakeholders there and engaging them around this very great historic initiative in our country. Thank you very much.
Okay, may I ask that side to continue clapping? Okay then. Thanks, Honorable Premier, for welcoming us. I did not hear you, Honorable Premier, asking people to take off their jackets. Therefore, I would like you to keep your jackets on to you. The Premier has not said that. I would like to just make one remark at this point in time. This program is a hybrid program. We are here physically, but there are also those that are joining the program electronically online. It's available on Zoom. It's also streaming live on 3 platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And I would like you to invite your acquaintances to follow us on Facebook. It's all small letters. On Facebook, it's at DWYPDZA. Again, on Instagram, it's the same small letters at DWYPDZA. And then if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at DWYPD_ZA, all capital letters. So I would like you to get to your gadgets now. Send those handles to your friends, to your acquaintances. You don't want them to be left behind. At this point in time, I would like us to hear what the two district municipalities are saying about this development. And I'm going to call upon, I'll start with the hosting municipality, the deputy mayor of OR Tambo, Councillor T. Sokanyile. This time around, she had specifically asked that that side must usher her onto the stage. Are you going to do that by clapping? That's a special request.
Okay. Program Director, mandiqale ndibulise kuwe, mandibulise the Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth and Physical Challenged People, Umama Umaite Nkwana Mashaban. Mandibulise to the Premier of Eastern Cape, Udia, Utata Umabuyan. Mandibulise the MEC zethu ezikhona apha zombini. Dibulise omele u-Executive Mayor Alfredo Umama Umshuqwana. Mandibulise the Executive Mayor of King Sabata Dalindyebo, Utata Nelani, no Speaker, uSpeaker wase OR Tambo, Umama Uchapha, uChief Whip OR Tambo, Umama Ungqongwa, MMCs that are here. Ngokuzithoba mandibulise kwinkosi zakuthi uChairperson we local house aphinda abe irep kwapha edistrictini utata uGwadiso. Mandibulise kwinkosi ekhona apha esuke Alfredo engumtshana ezalanayo apha OR Tambo ngoba umama wayo uzala apha emalungeni. Ndambulisa utata unkosi uSigcawu okhona apha phakathi kwethu. Mandibulise the DGs, the CEOs, all the different stakeholders that have been invited here to be part, especially the previously disadvantaged. Ekuthiwe makuqalwe ngabo ukuzova le development and bayazi ukuba bayiphathi yayo, they will play an important role. Let me apologize on behalf of Utatu Executive Mayor, Utatu Ngqondwana, ongekhoyo apha, hence ndizomela. As OR Tambo District Municipality, we wish first to appreciate the commitment that has been done by government. Ukuba iyazi ukuba the development mayize, especially to these areas that are underdeveloped and that have a low growth and there is no investment. We appreciate this thing that has been done by the entire government from national nasepondweni. Ndiyakubona sodolophu wasemhlonhlo uxolo. Mandiphinde nditsho ukuba as OR Tambo, together with the population yalapha edistrictini, that is the 1.5 million yalapha edistrictini, we want to make a commitment on behalf of abantu balapha as the public representatives, city-led development, le eziswayo apha namhlanje sizayithatha ngezandla ezingenamkhinkqi, and you are going to make sure that there will be a resolution that is taken by the council, because siyayazi ukuba it has come to change the lives of the people of OR Tambo to be better. And we know that this is the commitment that was done by the President, Utatu Ramaphosa, when he launched a district development model in 2019. Ukuba namhlanje iyaqalisa ukubonisa ukuba indeed the district development model ingena kanye to the issues ezitya abantu bakuthi, because this launch namhlanje of the Eastern Cape Seaboard Coastal Development, it's a step further ukuba ibonakalise i-realization ye-DDM, because everyone in government is here today. Yilonto ke, we are saying that we support this Eastern Cape Seaboard development, and also we want to make sure that it will be included in our IDP as Senate draft, a final integrated development planning yetu izobe ipasiswa by the 31st of May. We want to make sure that izobe ikona, because we have said that each development that is being done, whether it is the national sphere of government or the provincial sphere of government, mayijongwe pakwi IDP, but now we have a broader one, that is the district development model, the one plan. Ikona one plan OR Tambo. Therefore, we are saying that we view this approach and initiative, it will consolidate all the resources ukuba zize up. We are now taming the wild coast, because we have a stretch of land ehleli pha ezithuleleyo, everyone saying that we have a wild one. But by this development, we are going to tame it, because job opportunities zizawuvela. Ono business bakuthi bazofumana the opportunities, the investors will come. I'm standing here on behalf of ababantu base OR Tambo, i-council yase OR Tambo, to commit ourselves ukuba we are receiving this Eastern Cape Seaboard development ngezandla ezishushu, and sizawuhamba nayo, and we're not going to forget the previously disadvantaged people. The stretch of land, of coastal land in OR Tambo, it starts from a Coffee Bay, iambiyoma pangenguza. We know that this seaboard, it goes beyond our borders. It goes beyond in neighboring district. But as OR Tambo, we are going to assist ukuba iba impumelelo. I thank you.
I would like you to just reserve that. There's time for Rubonga. Just reserve it a bit. Now we are taming the wild coast to awaken development. Why don't I call upon Alfred Nzo, the Deputy Executive Mayor, so that we can hear what Alfred Nzo is saying. She had asked that the aisle with Mr. Fani must applaud her as she comes up. Are you going to disappoint her?
Thank you very much, Program Director, and greetings to you. Greetings to the Minister, Honorable from the Presidency, and the Honorable Premier of the Eastern Cape, all the MECs from the Eastern Cape present, the Deputy Executive Mayor of OR Tambo District and local mayors, I must indicate that there is a delegation from Alfred Nzo, from the members of the mayoral committee, the members of executive committees in all the local municipalities from Alfred Nzo. I've also seen Inkosi Usikau, the chairperson of the local house in the Alfred Nzo, as well as a rep in the district council. Representatives from business and investor community, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a historic day for our district. This day will forever be remembered as a day that brought hope to the people of Alfred Nzo, whom we have been given a responsibility to lead. Generations to come will remember this day as a day when true democracy and equal opportunities for all have been realized. As we gather here today to discuss economic opportunities that will arise for business people through the Eastern Seaboard development, we are hopeful that this engagement will yield great returns for all those present here as well as the districts involved. I would like in particular to single out the special groupings within our society whose rights as well as access to opportunities, be it business, social, or employment, are always undermined and not given the necessary attention. That today, through the Department of Women, Youth and People with Disabilities, have been made a priority through inviting them to this auspicious occasion in which they will receive first-hand information about this historic development, which is the first of its kind in South Africa. As the President of the Republic said in his address in KZN leg of the Eastern Seaboard Development in Daba, this is a vision to translate from policy into practice the district development model, which aims to improve the coherence and impact of local service delivery. The Alfred Nzo District Municipality is in line with this vision as stipulated by the President of the Republic. Alfred Nzo District Municipality's commitment to support Eastern Seaboard development is construed from its vision, which states that a district whose communities are self-sustaining and enjoy a good quality life, equitable access to basic services, and socio-economic opportunities. Alfred Nzo is well conversant that for this vision to be realizable, there is a need for a coordinated and integrated government development plans into one seamless plan, which is exactly what DDM is seeking to achieve. The opportunities that will come out of this enormous project will undoubtedly uplift the communities of our district, especially the women who are statistically the majority in our region, with a 54% representation. Moreover, Alfred Nzo, partnering with other government entities, envisage to be the food basket of the Eastern Cape, as well as the country at large. Alfred Nzo is a district of many endowments, as well as diversity. Our district has a representation of the Sotho people, Amahlubi, Amabhaca, Amaxhosa, Amaxesibe, the Khoisans, and Amampondo. Amampondo will benefit the most as this proposed development will be cutting across the Amampondo Kingdom. This, however, does not mean other areas will not benefit. And this development will help us as a district to realize our plans of tapping into the ocean's economy, as well as establishing a small harbor within the district along the coast of Mbizana in the Winnie Madikizela Mandela local municipality. Alfred Nzo has a vast tracts of arable and fertile land that we plan to utilize in our efforts to stimulate our district economy through agriculture. Our district has an abundant natural endowments that include sunshine and temperate weather that we have to maximize on in the form of renewable energy as well as solar energy. If connected effectively, this natural endowment has the potential to revitalize local economies, create jobs, and sustain livelihoods. Translating the vision of this Eastern Seaboard development into reality requires cooperation between the public and private sectors to mobilize investment for catalytic and transformable project. We are hopeful that these young women that have been invited to this Indaba will be prioritized in beneficiation of the opportunities outlined here today. And it is critical that we as leaders of society now focus all our energies on addressing the many service delivery concerns of our people and also the business who rely on the provision of these services to run their operations. The leadership of Alfred is committed to addressing service delivery matters as well as revenue generation for our district. And our commitment to supporting this concept of the Eastern Seaboard development is anchored by the plans that the district has in its IDP. Alfred Nzo envisages itself as a district whose communities are self-sustaining and enjoy a good quality life, equitable access to basic services and socio-economic opportunities. And this vision that the district has resonates with the vision of the Eastern Seaboard development. To all those that have been involved in this conceptualization of this program, we say thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. I would like to indicate that to our speakers, we have dropped the standing mic because in terms of visuals, it does not give us a good picture, so we would like you to bear with us and use the portable mic. At this point in time, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature Women's Caucus Chairperson, Honorable Buki Wefanda. We have been waving Gesis Mabuki wherever we are seated, and also the Chairperson of the Special Programs Unit Portfolio Committee in the same legislature, Honorable Khabe. I think the Mbonile somewhere. Okay. I would further like to acknowledge the company of Honorable Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, who is with us, participating online. As I indicated, this is a hybrid event. Then if the Honorable Minister is watching online, why don't you send again to your Facebook contacts at DWYPDZA, all small letters, on Instagram at DWYPDZA, small letters, and then to your Twitter contacts at DWPD_ZA, capital letters. They don't want to be left behind. At this point in time, I would like us to call upon the Honorable Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth, and persons with disabilities, Honorable Minister Maite Nkwana Mashabane, to share with us why are we here, and as well ushering her in. There's a special way in which we are going to usher her in. And in this way, we are going to acknowledge the role that has been played by Omama, City Malibongwe. Acho namakhosikazi akulaqala igama lamakhosikazi Malibongwe. Over to you, Honorable Minister.
Malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi. Lelizwe elamakhosikazi asoze aphela madla, asoze aphela izwe elamakhosikazi asoze aphela mandla, asoze aphela mandla. Program Director, Dumela. Director General in the Premier's office, Deputy Director General in the Premier's office, Director General in Minister Ngwana Mashabani's office, Minister, Honorable Minister Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, Minister of COGTA, who is with us online, all other ministers who are also participating online, the host Premier, Oscar Mabuyane, Honorable, who is engaged with other people who don't want to miss this opportunity. He's around with us, and he just got off his seat, and I said, it's okay. Honorable MECs, particularly my colleague, Honorable Waziwe Tikano, Totiwe, Honorable Ngata, Honorable Mayors, particularly the host mayor of the district, other mayors who are present here, the respected House of Traditional Leadership, the respected legislature of the province led by Honorable Fanta. I welcome all dignitaries to this second leg of the Eastern Seaboard Development Imbizo, focused in particular to women. We started the first leg of the Imbizo in the Herigwala district of KwaZulu-Natal last month. It is a great pleasure to convene here in OR Tambo district in MTHATHA. The district is not only named after the great anti-apartheid visionary Oliver Reginald Tambo, it is also home of the world's greatest political and humanitarian legends, including our first president, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. The Imbizo is in line with the partnership and the mandate we have from the President, His Excellency Ramaphosa, to continue accelerating socio-economic transformation through empowerment and participation of women, youth, and persons with disabilities. We are just but, are we 28 or 29? 28 as a country, 28 years as a country, as a free country. We are more than 100 years, but more, just 20-something years old as a free country. But I really am embarrassed to even start thinking about how many years can we count of women in this freedom of ours. Women as, the percentage of women as free participants, as actual, active participants in the economy of this country. We are now in the third year of some pandemic. I say some pandemic because we all don't know it. It's called COVID-19. All we know is that we've lost a lot of loved ones. May their souls rest in peace. We are also confronted with another challenge of a pandemic called gender-based violence and femicide. This is man-made. We have just come back from New York from the session of a gathering of women beyond Beijing. It was confirmed that South Africa is the 4th, what a shame, country in the world. 4th, gender-based violence is almost in every country. But that which is femicide-based, we are number 4. Femicide is one of a loved one. It's killed by another. The one who's supposed to protect that one kills them. Let me leave that. I did not come here for that today. Today we are focused on, can we protect, save women, but also open up space for economic participation for them. Now that we are fighting the pandemic that is besieging the whole world, called COVID-19, now that we have resolved to focus on rebuilding our economy, may we not, after apartheid, may we not leave anyone behind, in particular, women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Let this be our aim. Let it be our goal. We have an opportunity to rebuild an economy that, even after freedom, has never really cared about majority of the people of the country. Now that even those cracks were beginning to be covered up, have been opened up by COVID and climate change, can we not leave anybody behind? Now that we have come back to say, since the fall of apartheid, we have not built a single city as a new government, particularly the seaboards, this particular seaboard, eastern seaboard. Can we not leave women behind as we transform this part of the country and the economy? The first city we are endeavoring to build under democratic dispensation would be and should be here in the eastern seaboard. And it should not leave women, youth, and persons with disabilities behind. This Imbizo seeks to advocate for the effective participation of women, youth, and persons with disabilities, as I said earlier on. We must remove all limitations, be that they be brought by apartheid or by some social norms that were backwards, which are not about us, to marginalized groups, and their participation in large-scale infrastructure projects and programs in our society. As we drove to this particular venue from the airport yesterday, you could see where women were sitting and selling. It's almost like, first they were somewhere for the past 2.5 years, because there's COVID, they were locked up in their houses. Now they came out of their houses, they are in business. Where? Exactly where they were. Under the trees, in some kukunyana, and so on and so on. When we say leave no one behind, we mean they must come into the mainstream. How would they come into the mainstream? They start by getting information on time. Information is power. Information, even as we are planning to build this city, the Premier, why is this area called, why was it named or called Wild Coast? It was for environmental reasons, but it was only a stretch, he says, of 100 kilometers. But for those who love power, they used it, not us, them, to exclude us everywhere. Now that we are planning to do a comeback, can we come not leaving anyone behind? But things are like somewhere, and when you walk into a big shop or a mall, you must know this is owned by a man. Business ownership can be, in the Eastern Seaboard, can be maritime, can be agriculture, can be about tourism, can be owning those big tourism ships. Women must not be only be found cleaning up in those this knowledge. They were given information, trained, so that let it be that women are given space, are trained. Let's all look after our children. It takes two to make a child. So let's all look after children in business, because all of us want to eat. All of us want to have a bank account. All of us want to own something. It's not enmity, it's partnership. We are calling upon, in this partnership, traditional houses, government, from the Premier's office to MECs to legislatures, wherever we go, business, all of you, remember, you cannot carry us all, and you cannot be the only one who knows and the only one who has in this world of South Africa. Because Sailwela is South Africa. So space and leave no one behind. We all want to be participants. We are all aware of the challenges we're faced with, as I said earlier on, brought about by climate change, which I had already referred to, particularly the session 66 session of CSW, achieving gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls in the context of climate change, environmental and disaster risk reduction policies and programs. The environment plays an integral role in progress and success of the Eastern Seaboard development. It is imperative that disaster management is factored into progress of development projects. In conclusion, the outcomes of the Eastern Seaboard development in Imbizo, in KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape will guide and long-term milestones delivery dates and assign responsible and accountable entities. The year 2022 presents us with the opportunity to mobilize action to transform and restructure our economy and meet the desire of our most vulnerable. We need clear political leadership at every level chain to enhance the participation of marginalized groups in the economy, improve livelihoods, and enable them to contribute to sustainable developments. The Eastern Seaboard development must connect people in this land to its natural sources, untapped and untapped potential. The development must be aimed at connecting the villages, the towns, the cities of the Wild Coast Corridor to the benefit of those who live in those areas. And of course, we are Africans. We always welcome guests, particularly those who come with cash to enrich our areas and make us say bye-bye to poverty. Let us all strive to empower women, youth, and persons with disabilities with information. All our institutions, all our government departments must be waking up in the morning and what am I doing? What have I done today to make sure that I leave no one behind? Because even the disabled people that I work with every day, I would tell you that we are not asking for favors. We are not only asking for SASA. We are asking for support and information. So even business people must not shy away from disabled people. They say they are not an Hashem creation. Then create the ones who can walk tall, the ones who can be having a certain handicap, but not that they can't think and they cannot do things on their own. So this land belongs to all of us. So let's not leave anyone behind. You know, there's one thing, I don't know how you say it in Tosa, but in Pedibari, mujasage uokutisha. That is, if you have something nice, you must hide it. Now that we have suffered apartheid, really there's nothing for us to hide from ourselves. Let's share, let's grow together, let us transform our economy. Let us come back seeing the Eastern Seaboard, our dream having become a reality, where women, children, disabled people will work and play safe, and I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister says the country is 28 years old. And if the country was a human being, it would still fall within the youth bracket. I just want to check, do we have young people in the room? Okay. You know, young people, yes, they were one of us. You know, young people, we've heard the women. They say this country is theirs. They will never tire. At some point, Atini Naweluntu, I am going to ask from the young people, to hear from the young people, Gengoma. At some point, just organize yourself and practice. At this time, let me say, Olam Tom Chaola, Tatam Tom Chatata. Are you here for hands out or for hand up? Are you here for hand out or for head up? There you are. At this point in time, I would like to indicate that we also have government services on wheels, services that are ready for us as we continue, come from the Department of Health right next door. We are continuing with vaccination. Siyagoma, siya booster next door. We are also doing any screening and assessment on your general health issues. If you forgot your mask, it's there. So at a particular time, just give yourself 5 minutes to get there. At this point in time, I would like us to get to the next item of our program. And we are going to call upon, we've heard why we are here. The next item now is, what is this Eastern Seaboard about? And we are going to be led in that discussion by the Chief Executive Officer that is heading the Municipal Infrastructure Support Agent, MISA, and that is Mr. Ntandazo Vimba. If there are men in this room, what do you say to this man who is coming up? Okay, man, can you clap for this man that is coming up? I knew that women would join men in clapping. Women, can you clap louder than men? Okay, then, thank you. Over to you, Ntandazo.
Thank you very much, Sis Welegazi, our program director. We have a presentation, if it can be shared. Whilst they are sharing, let me introduce myself. Kakuhle, Sis Welegazi. Igama lami ndinguNtandazo wakwaVimba, umcobothi. Ndingowaphaya eNgquza Hill. Kulalali yaseNgquza. Lo masipala kuthiwa eNgquza Hill ubizwa ngelali yam. Ndiphaya ePitori. Ndiphathiswe umkhwe kuthiwa Municipal Infrastructure Support Agent, a government component under the National Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. We have been assigned a responsibility on behalf of the department to lead the implementation of the Eastern Seaboard Development. Eastern Seaboard Development, as the Premier has indicated, sorry, before I get to presentation, I think then they put highly cool. Let me first acknowledge our Honorable Minister, Minister Nkwana Maite Mashabane, and our Minister in absentia, Minister Dr. Nkosi Dlamini Zuma, our Honorable Premier, Premier Oscar Mabuyane, our MECs, MEC Ngata, MEC Kotiwe Tikane, our Honorable Executive Mayors, led by the acting Executive Mayor of our Tambo, Mayor Zokanyile, Mayor Zokanyile, and the active Executive Mayor of Alfredo, our Mayor from KSD, and our Mayor from Mhlonhlo, our Mayor from Port St. John's, Mbonile Uhlelipanga Semva, and our Mayor from eNgquza, I hope ukhona, umphathi wami. My task today is to share with you bayintoni le singayo namhlanje kuthiwa i-Eastern Seaboard Development. Nizawukhumbula ke into yokuba umongameli weli lizwe uPresident Cyril Ramaphosa was here, I think it was in 2019 September, ezawulauncha indlela entsha yokusebenza ekuthiwa i-District Development Model. UR Tambo was nominated as a pilot together with eThekwini and Waterberg District Municipality in Limpopo. Following the launch of the District Development Model, the profiling of the district was done, and then we did the profiling of Alfredo as well. We did the profiling of eThekwini and a number of other districts in this area. And arising out of the profiles in terms of the economy of this area, the social setup of this area, the endowments of this area, there was a view that if you are to deal decisively with poverty, unemployment, inequality, and general social challenges